Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Inspirational Wednesday with Brother Jarvis Mayo of the Broadstreet Church of Christ. Last Wednesday, we was looking at Luke chapter 8, verses 22 and 23, all the way down to 24, where we was talking about going to the other side. Jesus had told his disciples, let us go to the other side. And they had to cross the Sea of Galilee. And the Sea of Galilee was 18 miles long and 8 miles wide at the furthest distance across. But at this particular place of the Sea of Galilee, it was 5 miles across. And as they was going across, a great storm brewed up and got them started to wonder what was going on. And while this storm was going on, and as the ship was going back and forth down in the water and coming out the water, the Bible said, became full. It was full of people and probably full of water and on the verge of sinking. And we find here that the disciples were feared. They was terrified. And Jesus, through all of this, was in the bottom of the boat, asleep, resting, as they were going across the Sea of Galilee, and as the storm hit. And they went down in the lower decks, and they woke him up, and they asked him a question. Do you care if we perish? We want to pick up here because I think sometimes we ask God, are you going to let us starve? Are you going to let us go without? Are you going to let us go with the thing that we think we need? And Jesus getting up, went to the front of the boat, came topside, if you will, went to the front of the boat and says, peace, be still. And immediately the wind ceased and the sea calmed. And then Jesus asked this question, where is your faith? Jesus challenged his disciples to examine themselves and ask them where is their faith, urging them to rely on a power that they have not seen. Jesus asked them where was their faith. He never questioned what about the storm, but he asked them. Think about this. Jesus was laying in the bottom of the ship, resting in a storm. His disciples woke him up. The storm did not disturb him, but the disturbance came when they asked them, are we going to perish? And as he asked them, there were two things that was going on. At the time of that storm, there was a storm, a physical storm, and there also was an internal spiritual storm. And Jesus saying, peace, be still, calm both of those storms. But he asked them where was their faith. Jesus did not say, let us do the best we can. But in difficult times and difficult circumstances, he can and has the power to say, peace, be still. But as we go down through this and we go down a little bit further, as they see what was going on, as he questioned them, they asked, what type of manner of man is this that can tell nature to obey, and nature will obey? Let me help you here. Because somebody don't know what manner of man that these disciples were talking about. And some of us have been a child of God for some time, I think sometimes we don't realize what manner of man that we're talking about. You're talking about the man that was born a king. Not a king that ruled a country. You're talking about the king of all kings when he was born. We're talking about we're talking about the man that you don't understand what kind of man he was at 7 years old, was in there teaching and learning with the scribes and Pharisees, and telling his parents he about his father's business. This is the same manner of man that turned water into wine. This is the same manner of man that walked on water. This is the same manner of man that took 3 fish and 5 loaves of bread and fed a multitude of people. This is the same manner of man that took a blind man and made him see. This is the same manner of man that cured a man that had 1,000 demons in him and called himself Legion and ran all the demons out of him. This is that manner of man that they didn't understand, and sometimes that we don't understand. We got to understand that this manner of man can tell our storm, peace, be still. So when you're talking about what type of manner of man, if this manner of man can do all this, if this Jesus can do all this, if this Jesus can die on the cross on a Friday evening and rise early on a Sunday morning and conquer death, what can't this Jesus do for you? Too many times we are asked the same question: where art thou, faith? Because we worry about things that we cannot even control. And the things that we can control, we don't even trust God enough to understand what type of manner of man this is that done everything for us. The same manner of man that came to his own, and his own received him not, is the same manner of man that said, forgive them, for they know not what they do. I'm telling y'all, I'm beseech you, trust in the manner of man that can do all things, because he has all authority that is in heaven and in earth. Quit trying to do things on your own. Turn it over to God. There's a verse in the Bible that says, cast your cares upon him, for he cares for you. The more cares that you cast upon this manner of man, the less cares you got to worry about. Why? Because he cares for you. He can change your situation. He can help you to find peace. He can help you to find joy. This manner of man that they will bewildered with is the same manner of man that's still trying to save and reach out to us every day. This manner of man died for the reconciliation of all this world to come back to his Father for his everlasting too late. The disciples had to learn the same lesson that we have to learn. You have to learn to trust in the Lord. Lean not to your own understandings. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will direct that path. That's in Proverbs. And what is that verse saying here? Either you trust him, no matter what storm comes, you trust God to get you through that storm. He said, trust in the Lord, lean not to your own understanding. Everything that you go through ain't meant for you to understand, so you cast your cares upon him because he cares for you. He said, lean not to your own understanding, in all thy ways acknowledge him. No matter what you go through, you let God know about what you're going through. You let him think you think him when you go through it. You thank him in the middle of it, and you thank him in the end of it. You take him if it's a good thing. You take him if it's a bad thing. You take him if you don't even know what to say. You thank him anyhow. He said, trust in the Lord, lean not to your own understanding, in all thy way acknowledge him, and he will. This manner of man will direct your steps and show you where to go if you need some direction. The disciples had to learn that they were dealing with a manner of man that can tell the winds to stop blowing and they cease to stop blowing. We as Christians, as believers, need to realize the same thing. We have that manner of man that can make the winds obey and the seas go calm. And he could do the same things in your life. Let me tell you something. Storms are going to come. Storms are going to beat up on you. Storms are going to turn you upside down. They're going to beat you to the right and beat you to the left. But if you got faith in God and you got faith in Jesus, Jesus can say, peace, be still. And your problems will go away. See, sometimes God has fixed the problem. Jesus fixed our problem, but it wasn't fixed in the way that we wanted to be fixed. And we went back and messed it up instead of just letting God do what God does. So when you out there on your Sea of Galilee and your storms of life is raging, and you know that Jesus is in the bottom of the boat taking a nap, if you want to go to him, you go to him, but have faith that he can fix your problem. And through your storms and through your rain, he can say, peace, be still. And the peace will come upon you with all understanding. Once again, we welcome you to another Inspirational Wednesday with Brother Jarvis Mayo of the Broadstreet Church of Christ, telling you that we love you and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Have a blessed Wednesday.